Oh man, if you were watching my previous live, sorry for the total technical failure. It was rolling smooth, and then, as you drive, a lot of times you hit little spots and it goes out. But typically, it allows you to come back and pick up where you left off. It'll just like piece it all together in the end. But for whatever reason, for the first time in months, it just completely wiped out my first feed and made me start all over. So here we are. Here we are. My name's Joseph R. Wheeler III. I'm the artist, the founder, and the president of the ONYXCON Foundation. Welcome to ONYXCON. So, as I was saying, I was talking about this time of year. I was talking about Halloween parties. I was talking about the fact that once upon a time, ONYXCON did a Halloween party that didn't get the numbers we wanted it to, because I learned that what I had built up till that point in our glorious history had become mostly a family-based event. People only knew it for being a family event. So there was not a plethora of families that were gonna attend because of the time. I did it as a night party for grown folks only. And a lot of my friends and folks was talking about, oh, that looks cool, that looks fun. Then when it came time to be there wasn't nobody there. I did have my friends, shout out to Kebby Williams, the whole Wolfpack family, Wolfpack ATL, that's a band, a fusion band, jazz funk band. If you don't know about them, they're freaking amazing, okay? And I'm an honorary member of Wolfpack. I designed their logo. I went to high school with Kebby. Kebby is a world-renowned jazz saxophonist, okay? I love to say that word, saxophonist. He plays saxophone, and he's a legend. He's a straight-up legend. He played on one of the Outkast albums. He's toured the world. He's always on tour somewhere in the world. But the best way I could describe Wolfpack is like a jazz fusion funk band version of The Roots. I mean, The Roots is like a jazz band in and of itself, but the same way The Roots has all these multiple members and honorary members and historic members that people don't even know are members of it, or unless you're a real fan of The Roots. Like, a lot of people don't know Jill Scott is an official member of The Roots. She just don't play with them all the time, but she was part of the original conceptualization, etc. That's kind of how Wolfpack is. It's a real mob of artists. You know what I mean? It's a real band. It's a real vibe. But they performed, and they were going to be the headliner of the night. But ironically, they did show up. They did what they were there to do. And I ended up, me and like my maybe 5 or 6 volunteers got a serious jam session. It was like a private jam session. We got to hear a jam session with a major band getting down, and still had some fun with it. You know what I'm saying? Made a real fun Halloween celebration out of it. And I never forgot that he did that for us, regardless of no crowd. It was like, we're gonna be here, we're gonna play. We don't care if nobody showed up or not. We said we're gonna play, we're gonna play. So it was fun, and we still had our fun. And shout out to DJ Buddy Folks. He was there. He was my DJ for the night, so he played all night. We was dancing. Like, we had the whole place to ourselves, me and my couple of volunteers. It was, like I said, we turned lemons into lemonade and had fun. But in retrospect, I learned from that, when you playing any kind of Halloween event, like, you better know your crowd. Like, if them folk got kids, forget about it. Oh my gosh. Because everybody the next day when I'm checking on people like who had said they were going to come, I said, what happened? They was like, well, the kids, we took them out. We went trick-or-treating. We went to this church, and this door-to-door, and that door-to-door, and this private little kid party, and whatever else. And after that, man, we were tired. We just went on home. I'm like, okay, never mind. That's when you learn. It's like, you can't do a grown folks party when most of your audience has been family-oriented for so long. So I learned from that. I learned, you got to cultivate different audiences if you're going to do different things. And since that time, we definitely have cultivated an array of audiences. Like, because of being online, I would say right now, if I did that same party, I probably would have a lot of folks show up, because I got more grown folks. And even if they got kids, I just have a different crowd of people who, they'll go get a babysitter and they're going to be there, that kind of thing. But anyway, it was fun. So let me, first question, topic. What do y'all think when it comes to Halloween parties? I mean, are you single? Are you in a situation? You got kids? Do y'all like to go to Halloween parties? Do you like to dress up? Do you like to cosplay? That's question number one. And yeah, we had, like I said, we still had some people show up, but it was very few. So, like, if something like that were to happen now, would you go? Not asking because I'm planning to do anything this year. That we ain't doing nothing last minute. But sometimes it crosses my mind, like, is the new Atlanta ready for the vibes of ONYXCON and a party like that? Because we could do it again in the years to come. I definitely still have enough connections to pull off something like that. And sometimes I think that's what I'd rather do for the event side of it, is just do pop-up type events versus a whole convention. Just do a little one day, not even a whole day, like 4 to 6 hours. If you know, you there. If you missed it, that's your regret, that kind of thing. Because the pop-ups, I see people doing a lot of pop-up stuff and it blows up for them. So I'm like, why not us? Why not us? We know how to do that. So yeah, that's a thought. But another thing, in reference to Halloween stuff, I was watching a movie last night, or I was trying to find a movie to watch, and I was gonna finish up some stuff I had started watching. And I said, something came up, they give you suggestions and they keep hitting you with stuff. And I've been avoiding this movie for years, but I finally decided to sit down and watch The Purge. Wow. I had no idea what I had been missing. Not because it was, fun to watch or anything. It's a very disturbing movie, quite frankly. And it's mainly disturbing because of how real it could be with where America was when it was made and where America is now. If I'm not mistaken, I remember I checked the date, but I don't want to give the wrong year. I think it was like somewhere in them 20-teens, like 2012 or something like that, the very first one. Because then I looked up all the other ones. I knew there had been other Purge movies, but I never had an interest in really sitting. I've been putting it off. People told me it was good. Oh man, it's crazy, but you got to see it. It's crazy, but you got to see it. That's what I'd always hear from friends. And I say, I don't want to see that shit. I don't want to see nobody running for their life in a society going into anarchy where people could just kill and do all that and whatever they want to do. And I mean, literally whatever crime. I'm like, I know they're going to deal with everything. They're going to be doing some real ugly stuff. I don't want to see no killings and rapes and all that mess. And then people was like, no, it ain't got all that in there, but it sometimes, but not really. And I was like, okay. All that was just enough to keep me like, never mind. I don't need to see that shit. But I finally decided, let me watch this thing. And I'm glad I did. Only because, like I say, first of all, on an artistic standpoint, it's a damn well-made movie. It's a well-made, well-written movie, most importantly. The writing is what got me. And as I'm a writer myself and an actor and I've produced, I've done things, I know the process, and I know too, like when I'm looking at the way the actors are acting and how they're handling certain scenes, there's what you can bring to a scene and there's what the director suggests you bring to the scene. And depending on the director, it may be enforced. I want you to do this and I need you to do this. And you can see that was well agreed upon throughout this film in different scenes to make it convey the energy of what they were going for. So for that alone, I would give it a major A. Okay, it gets an A, solid A. For the general story, the idea, it gets an A. Only reason I don't want to give it an A plus is I don't think it's like I say, it's so realistic in a disturbing way. I think that movie should be, and I'm sure it has been somewhere in the scholarly system, analyzed in colleges. Analyzed not just in scholarly areas where only people in colleges and everything can be analytical about it, but it needs to be broken down on heavy levels for a general population, for the laymen and laywomen of society to understand what that movie is really about, because it's a real reflection of where things could go with the way people are about politics and the way people are about class and classism, racism, and all the other isms that plague harmony and balance and order in American society. Now, I'm not gonna get too deep into it on this live. I thought I'd just, like I said, I like to brainstorm in my lives, but I would tell you, I might watch the other ones if I can stomach sitting through all the rest of it, because I know it only gets worse with the other ones. Because usually when you make a classic like the first one, it is in its own right a classic for what it was saying. Okay, it's not, to me, it ain't ever about a bunch of gory violence and all that. It's the reason behind the violence that I'm more concerned with, and what is the message, what is the bigger lesson to be learned, and what to be avoided, and what to acknowledge is possible. Again, how close are you to this ugly reality if you keep being passive about certain things that need to be addressed? That's the message of The Purge as a movie. Now, the second one, the third one, I saw they had a TV series, and then there's the latest one or whatever that I think came out this year or last year, something like that. I haven't seen none of those. All I saw was that first one. As of just the other night, watched it. Real fresh on it, like last night. And wanted to cut it in half and watch it. I was so glued to it because of where it was going. I remember when I was about ready to cut it off and say, okay, I'll finish this tomorrow, something else happened. I said, God dang, this movie is getting deep. I said, okay, I'm gonna sit up and watch this craziness. So I finished it. I finished the whole thing. And like I say, I'm gonna do a review. You know, with it being Halloween, it might get some numbers. More importantly, get some eyes. And hopefully somebody will learn something from it, because we here for edutainment. So look forward to that. It's coming. I'm gonna do something with it, I guess. Like I said, I might take my time with it, even if it don't meet the deadline of the 31st for Halloween vibes or whatever. Hell, November, it's, you know, it's this time of year, you know what I mean? I'm gonna deal with it. I think I want to deal with it. I think I want to go into it. I saw that they have one talking about election year. I said, oh my gosh, they went there. I mean, it was blatant in the first one that that's the kind of stuff it's dealing with, the politics of the nation, this whole idea of the new founding fathers and all that kept being mentioned in the movie. I said, golly, this is crazy. This is too close to real. It's too close to real. But I gotta see it. I gotta see it. So that's my thoughts for now, and more later. I appreciate y'all. Tune in, subscribe, peace, ONYXCON.